Yeah, Steve, like the time you beat Megan Fox at swing ball. How we doing, everybody? It's Kev Ashford back for the Van Cam here on the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. Yeah, man. This is the United Stand, and this is your preview of Manchester United against Sheffield United. And on the back of, shall we say, an unconvincing performance against Coventry, I fail to see what we actually bring into this game now. Man United almost stumbling towards the end of the season, and it will show something. We need to see what these players are about now. You know, from Ten Hag's point of view, what kind of a team does he choose this evening against Sheffield United? We are well off the pace. You know, anybody that backs Manchester United to finish in the Champions League places probably needs, I don't know, hitting in the face with a baseball bat, just some kind of realisation of what is going on at this club. But we take absolutely no momentum. To beat Coventry on penalties, to not be able to navigate ourselves through that game with 20 minutes left at 3-0 up. And the thing is, we have seen that so many times this season. And against the likes of Newport, you know, in the FA Cup, we allowed them back in. You know, and testament, don't get me wrong, to the likes of Newport, even Coventry at the weekend, but they can sense that there is something not right with this group of players. Now, you call it mentality, call it whatever you want, but even when Coventry got that one goal back, you know, you didn't, and I don't know how you felt, but I'll speak for myself, man. At that point, I just thought, it's happening again. It's gonna happen again. You think back to that Chelsea game, you know, we're winning 3-2 in the 90 whatever minute, and we lose that game. Even back to Brentford, we never deserved to win that game, but when we took the lead late on, at least see it out. So there is a running pattern here of the mentality of these players, and that it breeds like a virus. That's what's happening straight through this team. It breeds into the fans, and any other time at this club, for Coventry to get that goal back, you would have just gone, well, consolation for Coventry. You know, we still see the end of this game out. But this group of individuals, this group of players that just live off moments. We never control games. We never dictate the passage of play. We do not control the midfield area. And I always say this on the fan forums, that the midfield area is the vital place. This is, if you've got the right players in, a Kobe Mainu, whoever United look to sign in the summer, because it's becoming glaringly evident that the likes of a Casemiro and an Eriksen, yes, they can come on at certain stages of a game, but we're never in that moment, that point where we can actually bring a player on like that to try and control and see out a game. I'm absolutely fed up with it, and it's probably the reason that a lot of United fans come away from Wembley, come away from the fact that we'd won on penalties, and I'm going to say it, man, slightly embarrassed. Embarrassed is the word. We should have never found ourselves at that point where we had to be subjected to extra time and then win on penalties. And I think the fact that a lot of the players didn't run over Rasmus Højlund when he scored it, it's nothing personal on Rasmus, you know, he enjoyed the moment, fair enough, but I think the fans can see through that, and even some of the players to an extent, I think, you know, they were thinking, bloody hell, we've just made hard work of that. And they will know what the supporters will be thinking as well. Yes, we want to celebrate the fact we're in an FA Cup final, but for me, it is the small fact that it is Manchester City in that final. And I think any supporter will look and think, well, if we're going to play anything like that, it could be very, very embarrassing on the 25th of May at Wembley for the second year in a row a Manchester derby. What does it say about Erik Ten Hag? You know, Erik Ten Hag in his press conference has come out. He's come out fighting. I don't expect what fans think he's going to do or what he's going to say. He's come out on the front foot. He's obviously clearly not happy about what the press have wrote, but, you know, it is facts. You know, a lot of what I have read probably sums up the way I'm feeling. So Erik ten Hag really is deflecting. You would expect that from a manager on the front foot, siege mentality, coming out fighting, you know, trying to make facts about, you know, the fact that we've come to another FA Cup semi-final, FA Cup final, second year in a row. But I think it's the fact of who we're playing, and we know that we cannot play anything like that last week in an FA Cup final against Manchester City, because it's going to be embarrassing. But for me now, Erik ten Hag has come out. He's talking about the injuries, which have been horrific, and I've used that in defence of Erik ten Hag this season. The injuries have been shocking, you know, even going into the FA Cup semi-final, you hear that Amrabat's been injured, Big Willie Kambala injured as well, Mason Mount, and that adds to the injury list of Johnny Evans, Lisandro Martinez, Varane. It's honestly, man, it's just getting out of order. And the medical department obviously needs looking at, because now Erik ten Hag in his press conference has also mentioned that there will be a late kind of look at two players that he says are a major doubt. That is Scott McTominay, who scored at Wembley, and Marcus Rashford, which is quite ironic to use the word which Erik ten Hag did, saying that they are a major doubt, because I've had major doubts about this too all fucking season, man. Major doubts, not about the injuries. Major doubts about whether they're even good enough to be playing at this club. You know, does it make any difference? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Sounds awful, but from now to the end of the season, I think top four's gone. Until it's obviously mathematically impossible, then we can still try and go for it. But for me now, from now till the end of the season, how many games have we got left, whatever, it's simply an audition to see who wants to play in the FA Cup final. And it's sad. I talk about standards all the time. We are here now towards the end of a season. We have got an FA Cup final, and these who wants to be in that squad? It shouldn't be on reputation. You know, I'm fed up to the back. How many times have we seen this over the years? So what if Marcus Rashford's the highest paid player at the club, 350 grand a week, whatever? You look at that. Can you even call it a performance against Coventry? It was absolutely shocking. Sending out all the wrong messages, body language, everything about it. I'm looking and I'm thinking, is this a guy that wants to be at this club? You know, there is major issues. You've got Garnacho being brought off. Didn't agree with that. And that's why at times I look and I think, Erik ten Hag, I'm not making excuses. I can make a bit of a staunch defence of him, the injuries and stuff. But if you're going to continue, if the in-game management isn't there and the substitutions are wrong, yes, he's got substitutions right in previous games and that, but to continue picking players that are not fighting for the shirt, that are not doing you a justice, that are not proving to you, you know, there is no reason why they should be in that team. But to continue to pick them is absolutely madness. And ultimately, it will cost Erik ten Hag his job. So at that point, where does he start thinking, wait a minute, let's get back to basics. I'm going to pick an Ahmad. And this is why I say, the injury to Rashford now, at this stage now, could be a blessing in disguise. Does it open the door for Ahmad to come in and show what he can do? Because at this moment in time, since the goal against, the great cameo against Liverpool, bit part player, you know, rarely getting in this team. And for me, when he does get in, if it's a 15-20 minute where he comes on, he seems to be kind of trying too hard. And that's where I feel sorry for him. Start him tonight. Start Ahmad over Rashford every single day of the week. But touching on Garnacho, he obviously come off, did not look happy. And there is an issue there. I don't care what anybody says. There's an issue through this squad. There's an issue, you know, you've got the likes of Anthony cupping his ears to Coventry players. What's all that about? What is that all about? You know, just conduct yourself well. Realise that we scraped through and it was Coventry. You know, they give it a right good go or whatever. But let me know what you think in the comment section. It is match day here. Get your match day predictions in. I always go back through the video and have a little look at what people are saying. And if anybody's saying that Kev looks like De Zerbi, anyone says that Kev looks like Teabag from Prison Break or Peter Crouch's love child, I'm going to hunt you down. But listen, make sure you finger that like button as well. I hope you've enjoyed another Van Cam here on the United Stand, the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. And for United against Sheffield United, holy moly, man, if we can't get a win this evening, we might as well just bloody give up, aren't we? I'm joking. I'll always be here trying to support the boys. And for United this evening, it's, you know what's coming, it's the United!